Imagine using a dead man to win a war. Not a soldier, not a spy, a man who was already dead. In 1943, the Allies were preparing for one of the most important invasions of World War II. Their target was Sicily. If the Germans discovered the plan, they could move thousands of troops, tanks, and aircraft to defend the island. The invasion could become a disaster. So British intelligence came up with an idea so strange it sounded almost impossible. They would create a fictional British officer, give him a false identity, fake military documents, personal letters, photographs, and even a complicated love story, then attach all of it to a corpse. The body would be dressed as a Royal Marines officer and placed inside a briefcase. His mission was to die a second time, but this time his death would be part of a deception. The man was given the name Major William Martin, but Major Martin never existed. The identity was completely fabricated. British intelligence carefully constructed his imaginary life. He had a girlfriend named Pam. He carried photographs of her. He had personal letters in his pockets. He even had ordinary items that made him look like a real officer: a theater ticket, keys, cigarettes, and small personal belongings. Every detail mattered, because if the Germans became suspicious, the entire deception would collapse. The most important item was a briefcase chained to his wrist. Inside were supposedly highly confidential military documents, suggesting that the Allies were planning to attack Greece, while Sicily was presented as nothing more than a diversion. The British needed the Germans to believe the documents were real, and that meant they needed the corpse to be discovered naturally. On the morning of April 30th, 1943, the body of Major William Martin was released into the waters near the Spanish coast. British intelligence knew that Spain was officially neutral, but German intelligence had strong connections there. The body washed ashore near Huelva. Spanish officials recovered it, and then the real game began. British intelligence expected the documents to be examined, but they couldn't control what happened next. Would the Spanish authorities keep the briefcase sealed? Would German agents get access to it? Would anyone realize that Major Martin was fake? British intelligence could only wait. Eventually, photographs and reports suggested that the documents had reached German hands, and the deception began working. German intelligence analyzed the supposed Allied plans. Hitler himself became convinced that Greece was the real target. German troops and defensive resources were moved toward Greece and the Balkans, while Sicily received less attention than it otherwise might have. The Allies had successfully planted a false idea inside the enemy's mind, using nothing more than a corpse and a story. Then came July 10, 1943. Allied forces invaded Sicily. The Germans had been deceived. The invasion still faced fierce resistance, and Operation Mincemeat did not win the campaign by itself, but the deception contributed to the confusion surrounding the Allied strategy and helped protect the broader invasion plan. And perhaps the strangest part of the entire operation was that the fake officer had become almost completely real. Major William Martin had never existed in life, yet his fictional identity was convincing enough to fool one of the most powerful military intelligence systems in the world. His personal belongings, his supposed relationship, his military career, all of it had been invented, but the deception depended on one terrifyingly real fact: the man was actually dead. Operation Mincemeat became one of the most remarkable intelligence operations of World War II, a reminder that wars are not always won by tanks, bombs, or armies. Sometimes they are won inside the enemy's imagination. And in 1943, the Allies didn't just deceive Hitler with a document, they gave him a story, and he believed it. If you enjoy watching the content, subscribing to the channel is the best way to support the work and never miss future updates.